Hello everybody, my name is Hammock. So, it seems that there is a TF2 update. Let me just do this thing. Yeah, balance changes. I didn't actually expect this, I was too busy playing Minecraft. And I saw this and people on Steam were messaging me asking for my opinions, since I seem to always give them whether they're willing or not. And I just want to go through these and do my impressions. I read a little bit of the panic attack thing, and I figured I might as well record it like I did with some of the previous updates. I may get like Steam messaged while I'm recording this because people. Okay, balance changes. In the past, we've made blog posts about changes we've already shipped or stuff we've tossed onto the smoldering scrap heap of failed ideas. This time, based on your feedback, we're going to talk about changes while we're still working on them. That's really good. That's nice to hear from Valve. Uh, Below is a sneak peek at some of the changes coming in the next major update, along with some commentary. These changes are based on community discussions, emails, playtime data, conversations with players of all skill ranges, and playtesting. Things to keep in mind. This is not the complete list of changes. Some items and classes are still being worked on and are not ready for review. We're going a little deeper on some classes, e.g. Scout, and not deep on others, like Demoman. Okay, so they might be addressing Scout being probably like the most dominant competitive class, at least in sixes. That'd be interesting. This is a work in progress. Items may change prior to release. Also, sorry if I like stammer a bit. I have a bit of problem reading stuff. Also, you may hear a fan in the background because it's currently British summer time, so it's very hot. Okay. Please continue to send us your feedback through the contact form on the right taskbar under Contact Us. Hearing from you helps us prioritize our work and influences the direction the game moves in. Okay, multiclass. The Panic Attack, a weapon I use quite a bit. It's a pretty good bombing weapon in my opinion. It turns Engineer into a good pick class. You can go in and go for medic picks and stuff. This is one of our least used weapons. The main culprit seems to be the Q to delay fire aspect, which fights against the basic concept of the secondary slot on classes that use this weapon: Soldier, Heavy, Engineer, and Pyro. Players generally expect a secondary that is immediately ready to fire. For the rare case where your main weapon isn't available, e.g. out of ammo, or isn't the optimal choice, e.g. airborne, too close, etc. Removing the queued delayed fire concept basically invalidates the original design, so we've started over. Goal: make the weapon immediately usable, remove the large burst potential, which is generally hard to balance, and give the weapon a unique design space to occupy. Okay, that's nice. New design: 50% faster switch speed, 50% more pellets, 30% less damage, fires a wide fixed shot pattern regardless of server settings. Shot pattern grows with successive shots, e.g. while holding down the attack button, but resets after you stop firing or reload. This sounds really cool, and I'm really interested in this because, okay, so 50% faster switch speed, which is really quick. That's already what the panic attack has. So if you're like soldier, heavy, or pyro, you can like quickly pull it out when you need to like reload or you just need like a follow-up weapon. So it's really nice. It's kind of like what the reserve shooter niche kind of had with soldier and pyro. Um, Fix a wide pattern and has more pellets. So I think it's kind of like Force of Nature in the fact that it does like less damage but has more pellets. So it could potentially do more damage. Like, I'm not exactly sure how the mathematics works, but I know Force of Nature is weird in the fact that it says that it does less damage but it has more pellets. So in my mind, I think it's like, oh, it's like more pellets, but the less damage is distributed less. So if you land like less pellets, you do like less damage. But like Force Nature ended up doing like a ton of damage if you like meat shot people with it. So potentially the panic attack could do a lot of damage if you meat shot them with the large pellet thing, which makes running up to people really close to the panic attack a cool strat. And the fact that it has like larger and larger spread the more you fire means that people like me who don't necessarily have as reliable aim can use this weapon to great effect and be like, okay, there's a guy in my face, just keep clicking like mouse 1 and hopefully at least some damage occurs because the spread is so wide. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds really cool. Okay, spy. Ambassador changes. Oh, okay. Players that are headshot from across the map are expecting to see a sniper in their death cam, but they sometimes see, more often than we'd like, a spy with a revolver. Ooh, I like the tone of this. Goal: reduce the effective combat range to something more reasonable and expected with the spy. Fucking yes! Fuck you, spies, fuck you. Okay, changes. First shots are no longer perfectly accurate. Bullet spread is instead reduced by 50%. This makes headshots less reliable at long range, while still very viable at close range and medium range. Okay. So it means you can, like, follow up headshots more instead of going, like, bang, bang, bang. It could be, like, more of, like, a rapid, like, kind of thing. But it means you won't be playing, for example, Lakeside, and, oh no, our flank isn't in pool, now there's just going to be a spy walking up on our Batman and then left-clicking us from across the map. Fuck you, Magikarp, fuck you, Z-Man, fuck you, Toast, fuck you, everyone. Yes, I love this. Yeah. I'd like to see that being implemented. I'm waiting for all the spies. Oh, Deadrigger changes as well. Oh, it's like Christmas morning. Feign Death is... Wait, let me... Okay. Feign Death is an interesting effect, but a good spy can use it extremely frequently, making it frustrating to play against and reducing the risk of using it nearly constantly. Goal: rather than make it less interesting, let's make it more predictable to fight against by removing methods by which spies can reduce its cooldown. This should create more of a rhythm for fighting against a spy using this, and introduce a little more risk to the player using it. Changes. Ammo kits and dispensers no longer refill the spy's cloak meter. Yes! Yes! Oh! Nerfing the gun spy meta. Oh. Watch this EU. All the EU spies are now bad. 90% of spy mains in EU are now bad. Scrambled meme. Oh. And then wait for, like, spies like Granger Bob. Actually, like, I've seen Z-Man play with Invisawatch and Knife, and he's really good. But, like, oh man. Oh. I love watching, like, good knife spies. Like, that's a thing. Like, a knife spy is more of a thing in North American Highlander, but in EU it's more gun spy. And as an engineer main, gun spy is very frustrating to deal with, especially since when Pyro is, you know, kind of anchored to, like, the combo, you're kind of like the extra pair of hands, like, oh, there's a spy behind us, and guess I'll, like, go after it. Because you don't really want the scout or the soldier going after them, because then you're losing flank. Like, engineer's this kind of, like, roaming piece, so, like, going after gun spies as engineer tends to happen a lot, and it's very frustrating. So, watching this just makes me, you know, just makes me cream my pants a little bit. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. I was about to go to sleep when I saw these changes, and I was like, oh man, I can't sleep now. But now I'm gonna fucking sleep perfectly. Oh shit. Oh, is this a dream? A turn reward. Ooh. This is the least used spy knife. Technically the reskin is, but anyway. While silent kill and rapid disguise on kill are good, the downside on this knife is extreme. Changes. Removed cannot disguise penalty. Added. Non-kill disguises require and consume a full cloak meter. Wait, what does that mean? My brain didn't process that. Added non-kill disguises require and consume a full cloak meter. I don't grasp that. First. Let me. Yeah. Backstabbed base disguises are still free. Okay, so. Oh, okay. So it's still like the Eternal Reward now, where like it prohibits your ability to disguise, but you can still disguise. You just have to like consume your cloak to do so. That's like the cost of disguising. Okay, sorry, that took me a while to like read. I've got a bit of dyslexia here. So yeah, if you like backstab someone, you can instant disguise, but if you want to disguise at will, you can do it. So it means if you run Eternal Reward Deadringer in its current state, you can't like insta-feign afterwards. That's kind of like a trait. That's pretty cool, because then there's like a predicted moment of weakness for a spy when he's using the Eternal Reward. He like goes, okay, I should probably change disguise now. People are aware of my presence, and then at that point you can expect like a cloak and dagger spy who's like gonna be stationary because otherwise he'll like shimmer because he's lost all his cloak, or an invisible spy who can't cloak, or a dead ringer spy who can't feign, which sounds really cool. I don't know if this will necessarily... Okay, wait, let me read the rest of this. Increased cloak drain rate by 50%. Okay. I don't know if this will actually make Eternal Reward good at all. I think these are too much of, like, harsh changes. Like, I still see Eternal Reward in pubs every so often. Heck, there's, like, a spy in competitive who used it a lot. I think it was Pineapple. I think you played Sniper now. But, like, it's a silly weapon. It's great for pubs. It's pretty fun. And I imagine, like, the stabby spy main in pubs who just chain kills everyone on the payload. I guess this will be, like, a nice, like, kick in the shins for those types of spies, but I don't know if necessarily this would make a turn reward relevant. But we'll see. Scout. Ooh, Sandman change. Fuck you, Cal2. The feedback on this weapon has been fairly consistent for a while. Players really hate losing the ability to fight back. Compounding this, the ball has to travel really far in order to disarm players. Being hit by a long-range ball, more often than not, ends up feeling random rather than skilled. Changes. Long-range ball impacts no longer remove the victim's ability to fire their weapon, but the victim is still slowed. Okay, people are still going to complain about slow mechanics, because losing control always sucks in a skill-based game. We've updated achievements that were looking for disarmed players. Max range balls now do 50% increased damage from a base of 15. The flight time required to trigger max effect has been reduced by 20%. Ball regeneration time reduced to 10 seconds from 15 seconds. Okay. So it does more damage, so getting a kill, getting those long distance kills on my Sandman strange weapon will be cooler. It's easier to like spam them more, but it's less of a you hit someone and then you get like a free kill. It'll be interesting to see how this affects with, like, Cleaver as well, the flying guillotine. I guess, like, because then people would... It's not just a stun, and then, like, they're destroyed. Yeah, Salmon Cleaver is one of those, like, fun weapons. It's like Huntsman or Loose Cannon, where you just use it in pubs, and, like, it's probably not as effective as using, like, the main weapons, but it's still really fun, and, like, you can definitely, like, find a guy in a pub who you know uses it all the time, and he's really good. And, like, encountering a good Sandman Guillotine Scout can be kind of frustrating, because it's sort of just like, as soon as he hits you with that ball, it's just like, oh yeah, I guess I'm going to take 150 damage now, as well as, like, scattergun damage. It's just like, it gets kind of boring. It's like playing the O word. Okay, let me just take a drink. Okay. Bonk Atomic Punch. This weapon was designed to allow scouts to pierce hotly contested areas. While it does this quite well, it doesn't require enough skill or carry much of a downside. That's actually an interesting statement to make for TF2. Okay. Changes. Apply a slow effect to the player after the phasing wears off, based on the amount of damage they absorbed, from minus 25% at low damage to minus 65% at 200 plus damage, and lasts 5 seconds. Okay, so that's like a nerf to Bonk. Which is pretty cool, actually. There's a lot of weapons for Scout that are really strong. So yeah. Because there used to be a thing with Criticola back when it was arguably, like, balanced, but people didn't use it enough, and then they kept buffing it, and now it's, like, too good. Where you would drink Criticola, and then after it, like, ran out, you would be, like, slowed. I think that existed on Bonk. I can't remember. It's so long ago. I remember a slowing effect on, like, a Scout, besides Babyface Blaster being a thing. So it'd be cool to, like, have that back. Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol. Oh, this is me, like, hoping that, like, my video about talking about Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol, like, has something relevant to it. This weapon is one of the lower owner equipped items in the game. Looking at the current design, it seems that not taking falling damage ranks pretty low on the value scale for a scout, and a flat plus 20% damage taken penalty is basically a kiss of death for a low health class. Goal: make the weapon less of a liability and focus on its get health quick tool with decent burst at the expense of total damage. See, like, before I read the stats, the Get Health Quick tool, like, why would you want that for Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol when you have the Milk? Like, the Milk is that, but better. It's like what they did with the Claymore, where they made it a worse version of the Zatoichi, when, the Claymore... why did you take away its extended charge? Hopefully that comes down in here later. But yeah, that kind of thing. Like, Milk is, like, so good. Maybe they're going to address that, I'm not sure. But okay. New design. Plus 15% faster firing speed. See, they add, like, faster and slower and stuff to certain stats, but this one says plus 15% firing speed. Does that mean it's 15% slower? Question mark? I'm not sure. Up to plus 7 HP per hit from plus 5. So it's like a better Bloodsaga and its hit scan. Minus 25% clip size, so 9 shots. Okay, that sounds reasonable. I'd probably, like, try that. It'd be cool if they made the Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol usable on Engineer, because Pistol for Scout and Engineer are pretty much the same, so that'd be neat. If that was on Engie, I'd probably use that. Okay, Criticola. Fuck, it's getting warm in here. Oh, it's all those spine main changes. Criticola. The last change to this item added marked for death when the effect ended. This was okay because it forced scouts to get out after a little while, but it didn't add any risk in the moment. Goal. Add more decision/thought on when where to activate and how to manage the risk reward of the effect. I really like these goals and, like, changes in the thing, because, like, that's how I, like, try and think when I, like, come up with, like, ideas for, like, changes. Like, you want, like, a thematic in mind, you want, like, a goal, something to achieve. That way, even if you don't, like, actually come up with a good idea for it, people understand the logic in your mind when you're, like, coming up with these changes, so that maybe they can iterate on that. So I think that's a really cool thing to disclose to the community. So, changes. Added each attack while active adds Mark for Death debuff for 5 seconds. Does not stack. Okay, so it just refreshes. Removed Mark for Death when the effect expires, removed the speed bonus, and removed the damage taken penalty. Okay, so you drink it, you get the mini crits, and then you attack, and while you're attacking, you suddenly take mini crits. So you get, like, that surprise factor. And then that lasts for 5 seconds, but then each shot you do refreshes that timer. So if you're, like, at the end of the effect get, like, one last shot in, you'll then still have 5 seconds and add it to that. Okay, that's cool. I'd be okay with that. If I encountered a scout who suddenly hit me for mini crit damage, then I know that if I reacted quick enough and I saw him and I could land a shot, I could probably kill him, because mini crit damage on a scout who's already really squishy could probably be enough. Like, if you land, like, a rocket on a scout trying to, like, flank you with Criticola, you would probably one-shot him. So that sounds like a pretty healthy change. The Atomizer. Dude, how long is this? I just want to quickly... Okay, it's not that long. It's mostly scout. Okay. The Atomizer. Triple jump as a passive effect is just too strong. Yes. It makes combat against a scout unpredictable because opponents don't see the bat, and therefore have a hard time anticipating the scout's capabilities until late into an encounter. It also makes the scout very strong against explosive classes due to the combination of extreme mobility and high close range damage. Goal. Require the scout to deploy the bat to take advantage of the extra jump, which is also a signal to other players that they can perform an extra jump, and reduces the bat's negatives to compensate. Okay, that sounds a bit like... I don't know if scouts would necessarily run that then if they can't have their scout gun out, but let's see. Triple jump is now only possible when the bat is deployed. Removed self-inflicted damage when triple jumping. Ooh, that's cool, so you don't, like, take 10 damage every time you triple jump. Removed attack speed penalty. Added melee attacks done while airborne mini crit. Oh shit, it's like a market gardener for scout. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. You could have a scout, like, jump around going boink, 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 hitting someone for, like, mini crits. Oh, that sounds really fun. Added 50% deploy time penalty to prevent quick switch bypass. Okay, so that's kind of like the winger, where, like, scouts would, like, switch to it to, like, jump on, like, a granary and then, like, switch back. So this, like, prevents them from just pulling it out and then pulling it away. Reduce damage penalty versus players to minus 15% from minus 20%. Okay. So, Scout's bat damage does, like... Okay, this is where I show that I'm terrible at mathematics. The Scout's bat damage does like 40 damage, I think. So like minus 15%, that's he does like 34 damage, I think. And then mini crit is like times 3. Wait, no. It's like times like a third of it. And it's like consistent, like with no fall off. So that's I want to say that's like 55 damage, I guess. Ish. So it's like just a little bit better. I don't know. But then, like, I don't know, less damage to players, which means you do like full damage to buildings, but buildings aren't affected by crits, so the buildings won't take mini crits. So I don't know the point of this, like, dealing mini crit damage, but also having like less damage. So it's like a very minor like damage buff. Unless like my math is wrong and like the damage buff makes his bat do like 50 damage. I think it might do 50 damage, yeah. Like, and then if it were 50 damage, that means a scout could like free hit a medic with his bat and go boink, boink, boink. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be interesting. My main problem with that though is the set, the biggest fan loadout, the soda popper, the winger, and the atomizer. The soda popper you can activate and then switch weapon, so you can activate that, gain your 5 double jumps, pull out the atomizer, and now gain 6 double jumps, and you can just jump around like batting people, and then you can just have like this weird like scout knight loadout, like the demo knight for scout, where you're just jumping through the air like batting people. That sounds pretty cool. But it then takes away the synergy from the winger, because the winger you have to also have it deployed to get extra jump height. So you can't have like the atomizer deployed to get the third jump and have the extra jump height. Which, I don't know. It feels weird that they're taking the synergy away from that, but then again, these are still like iterated ideas. That's a very minor thing though, like having the set like fit together. Okay. The Flying Guillotine. This weapon is capable of high burst damage under what sometimes seems like random conditions, such as mini crits at long range and full crits when the Natasha, when I misread that, when the target is slowed or stunned by anything, e.g., Ghost Boo effect. Oh, I didn't know the Ghost actually counted. And Natasha, yeah, because I remember like Scrambled, one of my friends who likes to, with me, come up with silly ideas of how to break the game in terms of meta and shit, and he was definitely one of the first people I remember hearing from that like he's just gonna run Natasha and then in a pug, and then some other scout's gonna run Cleaver, and then you just have like a heavy v heavy trade who's suddenly taking 150 damage from a Cleaver that's coming up like every so often. It's like that's pretty cool. That's like a interesting mechanic. Okay, so let's see. Goal: remove the feeling of randomness and reward accuracy. I feel like they might have already done that with the changes to Sandman. Changes: removed crit versus stunned players. Removed mini crits at long range. Added long range hits reduce recharge by 1.15 seconds. 1.5 seconds. Distance considered long range reduced by half of the previous value when determining mini crits. Okay. Distance considered long range reduced by half of the previous value when determining mini crits. But they just said they removed the mini crits at long range. So it doesn't mini crit anymore? I'm confused by that. So what I can see from this is you can't chain it with Sandman anymore, which I guess kills the set. But if you can land shots with the cleaver, you can like you can throw more of them because it like reduces the cooldown. That sounds cool, but I'm having trouble understanding the phrasing of the guillotine changes, because it says mini crits at long range are removed, but then it reduces by half the when determining mini crits. So what is the state in which it gets mini crits? Question mark. I'm not sure. Okay. Soldier, base jumper. Players often complain the base jumper is frustrating to fight against because the target is simply too hard to hit. This is mostly due to the combination of being able to deploy and retract at will, and the amount of steering control they have, which makes them too unpredictable. Changes. Reduced the amount of air control while deployed by 50%. Removed the ability to redeploy the parachute once retracted until the player lands on the ground again. Okay. That sounds reasonable. I remember some Sixes players like getting upset with people running base jumper because it basically just like you would bomb in and it would like make it really hard for people to actually air shot you because you can just like air strafe around the rockets. Yeah, it was like, and plus the airstrike and the base jumper were also kind of frustrating to deal with because like if you have one of those guys who's just like fully fed on rockets, like it's kind of hard to shut down unless you have like a lot of bullet classes available. So that'll be cool and make them a lot more weaker. People are messaging me. Okay, Mantreads. Ooh, the second least used item in the game. Ooh. The aerial stomp minigame is difficult and the gunboats are superior in most scenarios. Okay, changes. Plus 75% push force reduction now includes air blast. Ooh. Added plus 200% air control when blast jumping. Oh shit. Oh, I wonder what that means. Like, does that mean air strafing is like sped up? So if you like rocket jump and air strafe, you can do like bunny hops in the air or something like that? Oh shit, I don't comprehend what this actually means for the game, like plus 200% air control when blast jumping. So this is like the wee booties of Soldier in terms of rocket jumping. The push force reduction to air blast sounds really good, which means if you're playing Soldier and there's a pyro on the enemy team using reserve shooter, you can just be like, nah mate, nah. That sounds like a cool thing. I like the idea of there being like weapons that apply rock paper scissors effects to other weapons, especially if those weapons are annoying to fight. Okay, I'm just getting a message about people. Yeah, the like air control. I can see. Okay, like this. I'm not sure how. I guess. I'm not sure how much this would be used compared to the gunboats, for example, in Sixes. Like, I guess we'd have to see how strong this is, but again, like I've seen people in Sixes run like battalions backup and base jumper and shotgun, for example. So I wonder if roaming soldiers using mantreads would be more of a thing if this turns out to be like a really cool thing for rocket jumping. Like the people who are currently already good at rocket jumping may get like way better, 200% better when this comes out, if this turns out to be like some kind of thing where like you can rocket jump, shoot a rocket, and then like do like a 180 in the air and then immediately like land like I'm gonna bomb you. Never mind. Like get like a lot of like momentum up, and then suddenly just like like one of the Trimps with like the tide turner, like just do like a 180 in the air. That actually sounds really interesting. Like a high speed equivalent of the base jumper being able to just like turn around. Oh, I kind of hope it's like that, but at the same time, I'm also very scared for like all the really good soldier memes I know. Oh my god, that sounds really cool. Oh, I really want to see Zesty use that with like the market gardener and just be like this horrible meme spoon machine. Oh, that sounds really cool. Especially if this becomes like a viable utility tool for soldiers, because then you'll see the Mantread like stomp kill icon appearing more often because there's actually like a reason to go for it. So you would see like soldiers bombing in, firing like a rocket at the medic, and then finishing off with the stomp. So you just hear that boing sort of sound. Oh, yeah, these changes sound really good. Okay, let me get a drink. Okay, the sniper. Darwin's Danger Shield. Snipers using this item had an advantage against snipers who weren't. As a result, the players felt like they were required to equip this item in order to be competitive. Goal: remove the increased survivability against enemy snipers, which invalidates the existing design. New design: counter ranged burn attacks, e.g. flares, and strengthen melee fights versus pyros. Ooh. Oh shit, yeah, this falls in line with the Crocker-style loadout of the Sydney Sleeper Darwin's Bushwhacker, because Sydney Sleeper you could, like, if you see a pyro approaching, you could land, like, a close-range scoped shot on them, so they're Girardi'd, and then pull out the Bushwhacker, and then go for it. So instead of doing Girardi Bushwhacker, you'd use Sydney Sleeper Bushwhacker, and this would maybe assist that, so you'd have this close-range, brawler kind of sniper. That sounds really cool. So okay, let me see. Afterburn immunity. Oh shit, that's really strong. Plus 50% fire resist. Oh shit. I wonder, like, what Valve's changes to Pyro might actually be, because this is a really strong nerf to, like, Pyros, especially Pyros who run Scott Shot and Detonator. So I'm wondering if, like, the in-the-works changes for Pyro might actually be, like, very terrifying. So this would be, like, it'll be a good, like, design choice, while currently it'll be like, oh, why are you hurting Pyro more? So that's, like, that makes me, like, interested more for, like, Pyro coming out. But yeah, like, when I saw this, I thought, like, okay, doesn't the Cozy Camper already fill that role a little bit? Like, you get the health regeneration and the flinch resist, so if you get set on fire when you're scoped in, you're not really affected. So, but I guess that's also more for, like, people shooting you, like a heavy or a pistol NG in the background shooting you, so you just can, like, keep shooting. So this sounds really good. I really like the idea of, like, snipers' shields being, like, a target counter pick. Like, you have Razorback to counter a spy, arguably, like, soft counter. You'd have this to counter pyros, and you'd have Cozy Camper to counter, like, just a lot of people shooting you. Maybe, I guess, it would soft counter soldiers, because if they, like, bomb you, they can't juggle you as much. So yeah, I kind of like that, especially when it gets rid of, like, the sniper trade potential, because that was annoying. Yeah. So I kind of like this. So it strengthens melee fights versus pyros because you have afterburn immunity, which I assume means pyros can't even set you on fire, or maybe they set you on fire for a little bit, but then it fizzles out and you don't take afterburn damage. I don't know. Does that mean that, like, pyros who get close range set you on fire and then try to, like, flare you, the flare will just do, like, 30 damage, like, it won't crit because there's no fire to hit? Or, like, do you think it's very lenient, and, like, if, like, one pyro is, like, burning you currently and then another pyro fires a flare gun at you, you'd still take a crit because you're currently taking fire damage? Or do you think, like, that is completely removed the comboing aspect of pyro? More buffs for sniper? Question mark. Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I really like the crocodile set. I like the idea of being a crocodile. Crocodiles are pretty cute. So, the idea of there being a brawler sniper who just sees a bunch of pyros in two-fort sewer and it's just like, I'm gonna be one with the water, mate. And he just, like, runs in, just bashing them to death with a bushwhacker. Oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, these changes are really nice. Okay. Razor... Yeah. Razorback. Goal: reduce the effectiveness of pocketed snipers in stalemate standoffs. This primarily happens in organized competitive play. There it is! Targeting the competitive players. I like it. Changes: added minus 100% overheal penalty. Added shield regenerates after 30 seconds. Okay, I'm trying to remember who actually suggested this change originally. I think it was Jack, like 1PT Jack, who played in Premiership in Europe. He pretty much played every class because he's a god. He mainly played Medic and Spy, I think. But I remember he suggested this change a while ago, that, like, Sniper was such an issue because you would have snipers on, like, Product who would have a Razorback and then a full overheal. So snipers can't, like, take him out in a quick scope, and spies can't take him out in the backstab. So it was just, like, really annoying to try and, like, counter a sniper. And he just suggested, well, just make it so you can't overheal a sniper. So it like, spies with the amp, can, like, take him out a lot easier, and snipers can take him out a lot easier. So I'm going to give credit to Jack there, who I believe, at least in the circle of Highlander players I played with, came up with the idea. Maybe someone else suggested it a long while ago on the forums, but that's at least where I heard it from. And shield regenerates after 30 seconds is a nice change as well, because if you run Razorback, getting it stabbed and then having to run back to spawn to get it, it's kind of annoying. So that's, like, a cool thing. But again, 30 seconds is a long time, so that could bait the sniper long enough where he'll be like, oh, he'll come back in 30 seconds, I don't need to go back to spawn, and he'll just wait there, and then within that 30 seconds, a spy just comes back, like, hehehe, and just stabs you. So yeah, that sounds like a good change, because, like, you could still want to go back to spawn to get a new shield if you want to, and because it's 30 seconds, there's that kind of like decision making of, is it more like time efficient to go back and get it and then run back, or like to wait but potentially be risky. So I think that's a good change. Okay. Oh, my jaw's starting to hurt. Let me take another drink. Okay. The medic, the Vitasaur, which is also arguably like a Darwin's danger shield. Ubercharge on death is too valuable of an effect to be passive. Goal: change the weapon in a way that requires skill and risk in order to gain this effect, like the Ubersaw. Changes: added organs. Ooh, that sounds cool. I need to collect organs for Washu. Some samples. Added organs collecting concept. You know, hit someone with a saw, out pops a vital organ which you can take and hold. Yeah, that sounds good. I can understand that, Valve. Each hit with the Vitasaur harvests a victim's organs shown on the HUD. I like it. That sounds cool, especially since it's the Vitasaur is the atom collecting thing from Bioshock, so you can go around harvesting shit from people. Added: on death, preserve 15% Uber charge per organ harvested. This effect caps at 60%. Oh shit, so this is like a retroactive Ubersaur. So you have the Ubersaur, which gives you 25% Uber charge on hit. So if you want to be ballsy and you know the risk rewards and you have the game sense to like understand it's worth going for this Ubersaur, you can get like an Ubersaur hit to give you some value and hopefully like allow you to get enough Uber charge to force and like protect you from like dying early. But this sounds like a situation of like in pubs where I'm in a situation where I've got a bunch of Uber, I'm probably gonna die anyway, so I'm just gonna melee the fuck out of this pyro who's about to kill me, and then when I die, I'm refunded some of my Uber because I went down fighting. Which sounds really cool. Like, rewarding medic for fighting in pubs, at least, and maybe competitive, I think is a good way to go, because this is a first-person shooter after all, and I don't particularly like playing a class that relies on other people to fight for me. So this is a nice change. I also like the concept of medics running around collecting organs, because medic is literally the most terrifying character in the game, like, to be honest. The idea of he's just running around just like, I need to collect all of these gorilla vaginas or whatever the fucking comic thing was. Oh my god. It's so silly. I like it. Okay. Crusader's crossbow. Oh, this is a controversial item. I mean, a lot of these are, but it's in sixes, which is the only way to play competitive, apparently. Bolt healing is very high and significantly out-heals the medigun when the target is in combat. Yeah, like, one of my favorite things in pubs is just find like a lone heavy who's like sitting in the corner and just keep spamming him with crossbows, because then people commit to fights with him being like, oh, he's taken like 300 damage, he must be so low, but really he's like full health, and they don't see like a healing beam from the medic. So unless they're like paying attention for the of like the arrow like going in and like hitting him, like it's like really funny. It's like a silly thing in pubs. But yeah. This might be okay given the trade-offs, risk versus reward of range shots hitting and the opportunity cost, no overheal. However, it's also the fastest way to build Ubercharge, under the right conditions, e.g. corner damage farming with the medic behind cover. Yeah. Nice that they addressed the competitive community. Changes. Ubercharge gain rate reduced in the same way that the medigun's healing and therefore Ubercharge build rate is based on the last time the target was in combat. Reduced by a third. Reduced by a third when 1 to 10 seconds outside combat. Okay, so this doesn't affect the healing of the crossbow at all. So you can still heal. It just affects the Uber gain. So because people are using crossbow to just farm Uber really fast, the crossbow build in sixes to get like, I believe you can build like an Uber charge in like 15 to 20 seconds. I'm not sure, I don't play sixes very often, but I've definitely seen it, and it's a very quick thing, especially when you've been organized game. I've seen like CJ's team do like the aggressive Uber crossbow build strat where you have like 3 people on like critical HP, like both scouts using Boston Basher. It was probably not the most efficient strategy on stream, but it looks really funny just seeing everyone like, like, we all need to build Uber, and just everyone's killing themselves while CJ is just frustratingly like, oh, I can't heal all of you. But yeah, this should like make healing and stuff not affected, but it will make sure the uber charge isn't as built as quickly in competitive environments where that's very difficult to have to deal with the fact that a medic can just have an uber constantly. Okay. Another drink, because it's getting really hot. Heavy. All miniguns. Ooh. Changes. The 1 second damage and accuracy penalty now applies to the first second of spun up time, whether or not the heavy is firing. Previously, the 1 second damage penalty will only be removed after 1 second of firing. Okay, so that's the like pre-fire thing. What you could do is you could like fire it, and then if you kept yourself spun up with the right click, it would like remove that fall off, so it'll be like normal. So it'd only be like the first time you fired. I guess this will make it so if you keep it spun up with right click, it will still have the like pre-fire. Like the pre-fire like nerf. Accuracy and damage penalties now reset when the heavy spins down, rather than when the heavy stops firing. This means if you stay spun up beyond 1 second and fire in bursts, damage and accuracy will remain at 100%. Ah, okay. I need to reread that. My brain is getting slower. Accuracy and damage penalties now reset when the heavy spins down, rather than when the heavy stops firing. This means if you stay spun up beyond 1 second and fire in bursts, damage and accuracy remain 100%. Huh. Okay, so I think this just rewards heavies for not like holding down mouse 1 and murdering and being more like precise. I guess it's kind of like the overheat mechanic in Dirty Bomb with Rhino, where like you can't just hold down mouse 1. You want to like go just like spam like fire like chunks of it to like keep the cooldown off. I don't know. I'm not really like comprehending the phrasing of that. That might just be me. But yeah, I think that just means that like, yeah, being able to like spin up with right click and then occasionally like going bang, 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 instead of going bang, 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 is like more of a consistent thing. Okay. Gloves are running urgently. Speed, lack of, is used to balance the heavy's high health, overheal, and damage output. While we still believe it's okay to have a class of items that increases heavy's movement speed, players have been able to easily mitigate the existing negatives. Have they? I was under the impression that Gloves of Running Urgently was outclassed by the eviction notice. Okay. Changes. Added to max health is drained while item is active, minus 10 per second, and regenerated while halted. Holy shit, are they adding that back? Oh shit. Oh my god, that was so good. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Gloves of Running Urgently originally had this ability where when you had it out, you would take damage over time. And this was actually really strong because medics healing heavies with them out would build uber faster because the heavy is not at 100% HP, so the medic is getting like more uber charge out of healing the solo target. Plus, I remember talking specifically to Rusky Doo, who was a long-time heavy, very good person of the community. He's made a lot of items. He was on Crit's cast. He had a strat where when you have the Gloves of Running Urgently out and you take damage, if you jump just as you take the damage from the like overtime, you would be like knocked up in the air very slightly and use it to be able to jump just a little bit higher when you play heavy. So there were like some cool locations. Like I remember on Dust Bowl, on I believe it was second stage, in the like little like hut on like first point with like the health and the ammo pack on the right side, on the red side, you could like stand on a barrel and then jump with the grue, and you would get enough boost that you could land on top of like the lamp on like the ceiling, so you could like hide up there as heavy. I think there's some other situations. Man, I'm actually surprised I remembered that. But yeah, that was like really cool. Like the idea of grue jumping. There was this skillful mechanic for heavy where you could get this significant jump. I believe it also allows you to make the jump from steel E point as heavy using the grue jump by timing it. So that's really cool. I really like that mechanic. because it added like a skillful mobility, even if it was very slightly too heavy. So it's cool that they are potentially adding this back. I haven't fully read this yet. Health will regenerate only the amount drained while active, minus any damage taken during that time. Each time the gloves are deployed, the drain rate is accelerated for a brief period of time. Okay. Removed mark for death, and removed damage penalty. Okay. So it's kind of like the drowning effect, where if you've drowned in TF2, which, to be honest, is a rare mechanic because there's not many maps with water. So if you've played a bunch of 2-4, for example, or Well, or Balloon Race, I don't know, some custom maps, like if you played those maps and you've sat underwater for too long, you'd be like, and just like start like drowning, and you take damage over time. But then if you left the water, you would start to heal up the damage you took over time. So that would be, I guess, you filling your lungs with oxygen again and you healing up. So it would like prevent you from just camping in water, which apparently I guess was an issue. I guess it was maybe just a realism kind of thing. So this is that kind of thing where you pull it out, you take a bunch of damage for having your hands set on fire because you're running faster or whatever the idea behind that is, but then after you switch it out, you will heal up that damage afterwards, so you don't have to like eat a sandwich after running really far. So that sounds really cool. And the fact that it takes away the marked for death is really huge as well, because taking mini crits as heavy when you're running to the battle is like a really strong downside. It's like it makes the weapon not as good because you're a tank and you dying faster is not a good thing. Plus, mini crits also negate the fall off. So someone shooting you at range with a pistol will do like a lot of damage because you're taking mini crits, because the fall off is negated. So while they would normally do like 8 damage, they're suddenly hitting you for like 20 or 30 damage per shot. I don't know. Kinda. My math might be wrong there, but you take a lot of damage and it's not very good. Okay, the eviction notice. Oh, we're getting close to the end. Oh, then there's engineer changes. Oh, okay. Eviction notice. Changes. Added max health is drained while item is active, minus 5 health per second, and regenerated while holstered. Health will regenerate only the amount drained while active, minus any damage taken. Removed the minus 20% damage penalty. Okay, so it keeps in line with the gloves are running urgently, where they both had like damage penalties, but now they've removed those and given the drain. But now you still also have the eviction notice, being able to punch and like hit people and like run really fast and punch really quickly. So I guess this might actually take away from eviction notice ability to like run around and punch people and use it as like a melee thing, because while you'll have it out, you'll be drained. Less so than the Gru, but it means, I guess, those heavies who like to eat buffalo steak go eviction notice and go like E Honda or whoever that character is. I think E Honda was a yo. I don't know who the character is. Oh, I don't play many fighting games. I think that was actually an anime thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, tangents. Yeah, I guess it takes away from the subclass of the berserker heavy meta, whatever. Okay. Fist of Steel. Oh, they made a mistake. It should be Fists of Steel. Oh, update is ruined. Nah, I'm kidding. The downside of increased melee damage doesn't ever really come into play. You say that, and then the Buffalo Steak meta that I was talking about, Buffalo Steak Fist of Steel, people running around going, oh, I'm really tanky and I do mini crits, and then you just see one sniper with a bushwhacker, and it's just like, you're dead, mate. Hit him with a bushwhacker once, kills the heavy with like 400 damage or something bullshit, because like, he turns mini crits into crits, and that crit damage is then like doubled because of the Fist of Steel, yeah, whatever. It's like, is like a large amount. The bushwhacker is the anti-fun. Yeah, okay. Doesn't really come into play when it counts, e.g. holding a choke point objective, and when a medic is attached, the resulting pool of effective health is unreasonably large. Holding back, joke, okay. Changes. Added 40% overheal reduction while active, added 40% heal rate penalty while active. Okay, so you can have it out, you become tankier, but you gain less sustain. That sounds really cool. I think I'd use Fist of Steel as well a bit more, because I didn't like the melee downside, because when you go in pubs, people are more willing to like melee you, and you go around the corner and you suddenly just see a Gibber sniper who's just cookering you, and you're like, oh, I can't believe you've done this. But like, now you can be this heavy, this juggernaut with the fists of steel running around punching people, and you're a lot tankier. But it just means that you can't be like buddied up with like a medic or a like a dispenser, I guess. I wonder if this means. Yeah, I guess this also means you can't be crossbow healed or amputator healed, and I wonder if it also means if another friendly heavy throws a sandwich at you, you would gain less healing from that sandwich when you have it out, because it says less healing rate. Unless the healing rate refers to, like, the healing beams. I don't know, that would be something to test. I believe it would probably affect the sandwich, otherwise you could get the bro heavies with the Fists of Steel, the Brothers of Iron. That'd be pretty cool. Brotherhood of Steel, I don't know. That's a Fallout thing, right? I'm an old man, sorry. Okay. Engineer, what we've been waiting for. The Rescue Ranger. The ability to repair buildings safely from a range without using metal is powerful. Combine this with the ability to instantly teleport buildings from far away, which by itself is interesting and useful enough in many circumstances, and you end up with a package that is very strong. Changes. Ranged repairs now consume metal at a 4-to-1 health to metal ratio. Repairing 60 damage costs 15 metal. That sounds like a good change. I'm okay with that. Like, I would totally say that Rescue Ranger in its current state is very powerful. And this sounds like a very good change. I'm totally okay with this. Like, I always found it kind of weird, like, whenever I'm using Rescue Ranger, just like the fact that why would I ever, like, wrench repair besides breaking a sapper or like giving it ammo. Like if there was a situation where the sentry didn't need to gain ammo back, there would be no reason to using a wrench, so this kind of brings the wrench back into play. I wonder what the efficiency of this like repair is. This is another thing I guess I'll have to go into math about, but I wonder if the Rescue Ranger is now on the same level of like efficiency in terms of metal for like repairing. Like if you were to repair it with a wrench and repair it with Rescue Ranger, how much value is like gained or lost by using one, or whether it's still a cheaper thing. That's something I don't know, and I'll have to look into. Maybe you smart people would know. Yeah, that's me reading through. These are my impressions of the balance changes post of June 20th, 2017 by the TF2 team. And I'm really looking for this update. Panic Attack looks good. Spy changes, fucking love it. Scout changes, they're pretty good. These are really cool ideas. The Atomizer sounds really interesting and silly. I'm not entirely sure what they mean about the guillotine. The Mantras changes sound really cool. The Diamond Ginger Steel changes sound really cool. Hopefully that means it'll be unbanned and competitive, because Sydney Sleeper Sniper is funny. Razorback changes sound pretty good. That means it would probably be unbound in UGC. Visor changes sound really interesting. I want to run around collecting organs and stuff. Crossbow changes also sound really good. That should quell the people in sixes complaining about it, which is fair enough. Like, this is a very like serious thing in the sixes to build Uber very quickly. But crossbow is so fun. Like, it's probably the only fun thing about Medic when you play in sixes, just getting those like sick kills. And when people are saying to ban the crossbow in 6v6, it's like, man, don't give people less reason to play Medic in sixes, please. Heavy, these changes sound really good. I couldn't really comprehend that one too well, but I believe it just means that being spun up with your right click and tapping your left click is more rewarding. It should make the Tomislav sniping a bit cooler. The Gru changes look cool. The Affliction Notice changes look cool. The Fist of Steel changes look cool. And the Rescue Ranger changes, I'm okay with it. I'm an engineer main, I have 1,600 hours in engineer currently. I have 10,000 hours on the game. At least that's what it says on Steam. I think my like actual TF2 like achievement hours is like 7,000 or something. But like, I play a lot of engineer, and I'm okay with these changes. I think they're well deserved. Rescue Ranger is a little bit too strong. So these are my impressions of the patch notes that are coming up. I'll have probably a different video for when the patch notes actually come out and I've, had a little bit of a try. But yeah. Thank you for watching if you've watched this video, and I'll see you next time.